Hello, beautiful souls. How are you today? Welcome to the studio. Let's get our chat up. We got some things on the desk today, some things that we're going to be inspired by, some things that we're going to be just happy to have. Okay. All right. Hi, Paula K. How are you? All right, we got our chat up. Got some food on the magazine. No food. Although I did just finish eating lunch. How are you, Paula? How is the weather where you are? I'm always thinking about where you are because we want to be where you are. Welcome, guys. Happy Monday. How was your weekend? Come on in. We're going to give room and time for everybody to get their notifications. Usually, once I get my notification, that's when I know we're ready to pop on over. And where is my box? That's what I'm missing. I've done something. You know what? When you play with things and you don't know, I set some stuff back to default. And therefore, what is that? No, that's not it. Okay. I was on yesterday, and I still have the watercolors on the desk, but where are the other ones that I have? I cleaned up, and y'all know when I clean up, I usually forget to pull stuff out, and I did because I came into the studio late. What up, Monique? How's your weekend? I was gonna call you afterwards. Okay, guys, for everybody, let me give my shout out to Team Replay real quick, because we appreciate Team Replay because Team Replay be showing up. So, welcome to the studio, Create Joy Studio, and we thank you for being here, right? Right? So, whether you're watching live or on Team Replay, but right now, Team Replay, thank you again for showing up. Thank you for being here. How was your weekend? What do you have going on, Team Replay? Do leave me some comments. And if anything in the video resonates with you, please share, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you are a creator, if you're creating things with me while you're watching. Let me know. Let me know. It is hot and sunny after a few days of rain. Ooh. When you say hot, Paula K, what's your version of hot? Like, what's the temperature in Barbados? Okay, these are they. Okay, so we have we have our Rosa Gallery watercolors that we're going to be using today. We have our Utrecht, and, well, we're not using Winsor and Newton. But I wanted to share, because y'all know we're doing the Rose Challenge. And this was my challenge for yesterday. Remember I told y'all I do my roses in threes. So I decided to share yesterday's rose. After I got off the live, I did yet last evening. But the paint that I used here was Jasper. Yeah, so that's what we use there. So we'll put that right there. But today we're going to be talking about an interesting conversation. What overwhelm really looks like in your art over 40. But I kind of changed it because a lot of people that come and listen to me, they don't really, some people paint, some people don't, some people journal. So there's a plethora of things that goes on, and so I kind of just said overwhelm really looks like, and I can't remember what the title was because where is my there it is. What overwhelm really looks like in your art over 40. Remember to do this is what I kind of said, but I really just want to concentrate on what overwhelm and don't stress. Like the thumbnail really hones in. Just overwhelmed. Don't stress because you're getting overwhelmed. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And then we're going to also add healing one brush stroke at a time, because that's my part. That's my journey. That's where I am. And we're going to use our new brush that we got yesterday that we like. This one is a Grombacher. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you come on and you want to know what the brush is, just let me know. But for the most part, we just going to be slapping some paint on some paper, hanging out, really talking about how not to stress. That's what I really want to talk about, is how not to stress. All right, so let me close that so that doesn't be. And let me put this in the chat because I have a new platform. And if you have subscribed to the emails and everything for the journaling prompts before, I want you to go over and subscribe to this email. Download your free watercolor supply list and a bonus. There's a video there. So click on that link. That's the new platform that I am using to do all the things. Because as I said yesterday, I think I said yesterday, I am rebranding, not rebranding. That's most of the time what people say. But I'm not rebranding. I'm just kind of moving differently, doing some things, doing some things. And that is a big thing right there. So click on that and download your watercolor list and the video. That you get to, pause. Not that you don't get to go back and pause and do all the things here, but it'll give me a little bit more access to send you some private stuff that YouTube don't get. Y'all think I give a lot on this Mondays and Wednesdays? Behind the scenes get a lot more. Hold on, let me drink some water. Okay. Now, I am going to probably use this paper because this right here, it did so good. This one is Jasper Stardust. These are handmade watercolors from Australia. Christy Rice and was the one who was swatching these, and I was just like, oh, those are cute. And I didn't want, because all my watercolors usually are very, very vibrant, very, very pretty. And so I wanted something different, and these were a little earthy. And I have to have yellow because yellow is my color. I love to have yellow so that way I can, if I'm in a funky mood, bad mood, or whatever, yellow is my she's coming out color, I guess I can kind of say. So let's talk about overwhelm. What puts you in overwhelm? Grief happened to slap me into overwhelm. My husband had surgery. That put me in overwhelm. Oh, and by the way, guys, he's back at work today. So we thank God for that. We thank God for him coming through all the things and grateful that he was able to go back to work. All right, let's get this paper. Oh, no wonder I got it upside down. I was trying to say, no, I'm not out of paper. Okay, but, oh, those are pretty. So these were also Utrecht watercolors that I swatched last evening as well. Because after I played with them, I wanted to really dive into them and see just really how deep they were. So I'm going to use, am I going to use, yes, I'm going to probably use both because I do know I don't have a green in Utrecht. And I meant to research to see if I'm saying their name right. I'm sorry. But Utrecht is what Blick is sending people, because y'all know Blick is no longer going to be selling Blick watercolors. So they're discontinuing their own brand of watercolors, and they're saying that they're offering from Blick to Utrecht. So if you're into watercolors and you're into all the things and all of that kind of thing, Utrecht is, hi July Sweet Breeze. Utrecht is the ones that they're replacing. I can't say replacing. They're just giving people another alternative. That's how I'll put that. But for me, I'm over here on all things. All right, so let's get over here and let's get. So, July Sweet Breeze, how are you on this beautiful Monday? So as we get stuff, we're going to use these. I was up this morning early, bright and early. because that's something that I have to do. Now Mr. McKoy is going back to work. I'm back on my schedule, me and the dogs. So I got up and fed the dogs while I ate breakfast. This is part of overwhelm. This is why my life was in overwhelm, because I had changed some things. And this is how, when you really, really, really don't concentrate on yourself first, this is how you get thrown in overwhelm. As a mother of 7 children, I've always taken care of someone else first, and that was just habit. There was no other no other way to do it. Here, we're gonna use this green, I think. That way I don't have to open. Yeah, let's do that. And Mr. McKoy is here, so everybody tell Mr. McKoy hello. He's watching from work. But so overwhelm, you'll get put into overwhelm if you don't take care of yourself. And I really realized that during the process of, again, him having surgery and not being able to do a lot of things, especially driving, my life got put into overwhelm. Now, it's not a problem so much so about all the things that I had to do, being a wife, taking care of him, and doing all of that. That wasn't it. It was the fact that life over 40 looks different. It looks a little different when you get to moving about your business and moving about your day. You can't move as fast as you did when you were in your 20s and your 30s. 40s is the point. Leaving the 30s and going to the 40s was the point in my life when I still wasn't really, I don't know, I still wasn't focused on, I don't know, it still didn't feel like I couldn't do it. I was still doing it. Life after death is really what made me realize you can't do it all. You need to go somewhere and sit down. You need to take a break. Your heart is about to jump out your chest. You need to go somewhere and sit down. Oh, today's a holiday in British Columbia. Oh, nice. And home on a very, oh, it's raining there. Paula Kay just said she's enjoying good weather. It's just after the rain. So when you look at it, we look at overwhelm from, okay, Paula Kay, when you look at overwhelm from the art perspective, right? Some people have so much stuff that they're overwhelmed with their stuff. I've been there too, because being a reborn again artist, I'll say it that way, and coming back into the art world and all of the things, I really had to decide what was it that I liked, what brought me joy, right? So, and the overwhelm was getting loud. And I didn't need it to be loud anymore. I needed it to be like quiet. I needed it to be calm a little bit. I was used to the kids making all their noise, yelling, screaming, doing all their things, their requests and all of that. I was used to that. But what I wasn't prepared for is not being able to really, really settle into my life after 40. Let's say that. And I'm life after 50 now, so. But we're going to talk about life after 40 because I feel like it's just the place, because pay attention to a couple of my kids. But after 40, and especially after loss, I just found myself staring at a blank paper, kind of like this page. And let's use this page as life. This is your life. You have a blank page every morning, every day you get up. It's a blank slate. Until your feet hit the floor, and then you put your phone in your hand, and then you go through your to-do list, or you get up and you get ready to go to work and all that. Before you do all that, you have a blank slate. You haven't put colors in it, and I'm using the analogy for these supplies, and you can put it to life. I had brushes, but I didn't have the heart to want to get up and paint. So paint life. Didn't have the heart to do it. So now that I'm painting, right, let's bring this back over to the art world. Now that I'm painting, it gives me joy, and it gives me a little bit of silence in my life so that I don't have to live in overwhelm in my art or in my life. Now, when you realize that overwhelm isn't a lack of time, right? It's the weight of unspoken feelings. And I think I was having a conversation with William, and we were talking, and I remember just saying, like, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. And it was more so, like I say, from the driving. I went from not driving because I don't have to leave home to, to work. I do everything right here at home. So I went from not driving to driving pretty much every day, going to doctor's appointments and all of the things. And it would not, and again, it's not that it was a problem. It was just that I was trying to do life the way I had already been doing it, right? And that's what I'm here to tell you. That's what overwhelm looks like. Overwhelm is not the weight of what you're doing, it's how you're doing it, right? And remember, it's Rose Challenge Month, so I'm continuing. I had some other things that I'm going to share, but I wanted to get these roses down so they can dry. All right, so when you think about it, if you're in the chat, if you're on Team Replay, what does overwhelm look like to you? Like, what does it look like to you? Right? Like, when you really, really, really think about it, because most people, they're just like, oh my God, I'm just so overwhelmed with, whatever it may be. But what does that really look like? What does that really mean? Because we use the words, but do we know what it looks like in our life? And for me, I just realized that the overwhelm was the fact that I wasn't creating in my studio with joy because I was coming in here for peace. And because I was overwhelmed outside the studio, it just wasn't bringing me joy. That brush isn't bringing me joy right now either. I hear you. After my husband died in a very tragic and traumatic circumstance. Oh, I was numb for years. I still suffer. But I have 3 kids to feed. Yep. So I neglected myself. Pain. Yep. I can relate. July Sweet Breeze. I felt all of that. Except I didn't lose a husband. I've lost 2 children. And I still had, so after my daughter, I still had 6 kids to tend to. And I realized I couldn't do it. Like, it took me 3 years to kind of recover from that. And thank God they had their dad, who just pretty much, checked out from everything, God's world, whatever. He just wasn't doing none of it. So, but at the end of the day, it was like, when you get on that airplane and they tell you when the mask drops down, put it on yourself first. And that was what I tried to do. And in the same time, the other kids were kicking and screaming. Well, not all of them, but a couple of them was kicking and screaming. Was like, what about me? What about me? Well, I couldn't breathe. So how could I help you if I couldn't breathe? That's what overwhelm looks like when you just really come down to yourself and just realize that, hey, I need to say no. I just can't do it. I'm just overwhelmed with grief. I'm overwhelmed with heartbreak. I'm overwhelmed with this job. I'm overwhelmed with whatever your overwhelm is. And I say life after 40, it just hits you differently. Your 20s and your 30s, you kind of just pack it on your back and you become the bag lady. And you're just like, okay, I'll get to it. Okay, I got it. I'll do it. And we can, especially women. Man, we'll throw up another bag on our back in a minute. Shoulders all hurting, everything. Not even worrying about it, right? So the weight of the unspoken feelings, that's real talk, right? So check this out. And this can be a journaling prompt for you today if you need a journaling prompt. But ask yourself this question. Ask this question. Y'all know I like y'all to engage. When was the last time you felt disconnected from your fill in the blank? Mine just happened to be creativity. And what emotion was underneath that moment? So I just gave you an example of mine, which was, the husband having surgery. And it pretty much, we didn't have time to plan for it. I didn't have time to get my affairs in order or anything. All I had to do was cancel this, cancel that, and just be there, right? So what is your one thing that you felt disconnected from? And like I say, mine is creativity. Julie said, I can't imagine how. July Sweet Breeze said, I can't imagine how you survived. A mother shouldn't see. Yeah. Can I give you a big hug? Yes, I'm receiving your big hug. Now, I'm going to talk about that too. But now, my creative overwhelm um, and life pretty much right now for me is hormonal changes, right? Life over 50. I got hormonal changes going on. I had emotional overload, caregiving, grief. I called it invisible labor. I was like pushing, trying to breathe, and I just couldn't get my breath right. Like I was trying to tell myself, breathe, fool, breathe. Like you got to breathe. And I was just holding my breath and trying to get through it. The thing that gave me joy was Mondays and Wednesdays. Coming here, hanging out, knowing that I was going to talk through, preparing for Mondays and Wednesdays, was I was going to be able to talk through it because I was going to be, again, helping someone else possibly get through their stuff. So helping you get through your stuff helps me get through my stuff, right? But fear of not being perfect, like when you want to say no, like you don't want to do it. Like, as a mother and as a wife, you're supposed to be the one that does all things. You're supposed to have dinner ready. You're supposed to take the kids' foolishness. You're just supposed to do all the things. Who said? Like, I don't know. Like, does that make you feel exhausted? All the things. Like, drop a hand. Put a hand up. Raise your hand if you can relate. Put a hand up in the chat and replay, team replay. Put in the comment section if you've ever felt too exhausted to. Mine is create, yours is whatever. Go to work, hang out with friends, like so much to the point to where you don't even want to do what brings you joy. So I would get my pad, and which is why paint is literally in my room on my work desk now, is my whole paint box. I just took it in there. And I was just like, I refuse to give in. I got to work through this. I got to get through this. Why? Because some things you just got to do, right? There's no getting over it. So for my art lovers, how has art changed since you've, life after 40? What does that look like? You're like, how? For me, it helps me calm down, especially if I want a semi-perfect rose, because remember, nothing is perfect. But if I want my rose to look like a rose, I have to slow down, concentrate on what I'm doing, which means I'm not going to be in my head. I try to tell myself, hey, we're not worrying about that right now. We're going to take 10 minutes for yourself, which is why I started, like for May, was just like mothers need to take care of themselves. Caregivers need to take care of themselves. We need to, where was that? Labor breathing is a symptom of PTSD. Retired nurse here. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yes. And let me tell you something. PTSD is one of those things where people think, oh, you were in the military? No, I'm in life. So it's not just a military thing. It's like anytime you've had a traumatic act in your life, then it's called PTSD. That's what it is, right? But I get it. So my art doesn't reflect, like, sometimes my art doesn't reflect the pain that I'm going through, right? It doesn't. And that's good. So when I get to slap paint on paper, I get to really, really hone in to where I want to be. I really get to decide what that looks like, or again, it gives me time to sit in it and let the colors, my watercolors, let each color, whatever color I choose, it lets me decide if I'm avoiding something, or maybe it's just too dark, it's too emotional, and I need to add some more water to it. Like, I just watch how my watercolors bloom, and then I get to decide in my life when I get up from watercoloring, or when I get off of the lives on Mondays and Wednesdays, I get to ask myself, do you feel better? Do you need to go paint some more? Do you need to take a long walk? Like, I really check in with myself. And so that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about don't let overwhelm stress you. Because there's something that you can do. Now, there is healing in the overwhelm too, right? But you have to know that you are in overwhelm and you're stressing in order to heal from the overwhelm. What do I mean by that? Like I said, I sit down and I ask myself, what's going on? How are you feeling? Whatever. So I start with maybe 5 minute painting, something quick, or something where, because y'all know I'm trying to sketch now. So I'll start with 5 minutes of a creative flow. I give myself 5 minutes. Then I'll ask myself those questions again. How do you feel? Check in with yourself. Take a deep breath. Sit in it 5 minutes. And then you can create a new, no rules art space or workspace or a walk, like whatever your thing is. And I'm speaking from my standpoint because mine just happens to be the art. When I got to the place where I didn't even want to do my art, that's when I knew that the overwhelm was taking over, right? So overwhelm is just a signal. It's not, it doesn't mean failure. It doesn't mean that, you're done, or it doesn't mean that, you're just failing at life. Overwhelm is kind of like a temperature in your body. You know, when you get a temperature, that kind of tells you that there's something going on and you need to pay attention, right? So your creativity is not gone. It's kind of buried under the noise. And I remember telling my daughter, she was talking about something that was going on in her life, and it was a good thing. And I was just like, oh my goodness, that is great. She's like, what do you mean? And I was like, you know what? We've done chaos for so long that we don't even understand that right now what you're going through is a great thing. So quiet down. Don't let the noise just kind of get in your ear. I'm giving you permission. Remember I told you I have permission slips. I'm giving you permission to create a day that's all about you, right? Whether it's a messy day, you don't want to do your hair, you don't want to show up, whatever. You have full permission to just be emotional, imperfect, give yourself whatever you need. And then after that, I want you to check in with yourself and ask yourself, what does that look like? Right? What does it look like? So, in my self discovery through my overwhelm in the last, let's say, 45 days, I had some questions. I did some identification things in my journal. Because, I journal all things. Some things I don't. Some things I just be like, oh, I just wish that'll just get out of my brain altogether. And now that I'm okay with journaling, back in the day we called it a diary. So I've been journaling all my life. But after someone read it, I kind of didn't put everything in there. I'm 68, retired nurse after 24 years, always taking care of others, but not to myself until I crashed. Aww. I felt overwhelmed and slowed down to rethink which way I want to go. July, sweet breeze, that is exactly what I'm talking about. That is it. So listen, so we can go and take July Sweet Breeze example because she's 68, so life over 60. Oh man, you're almost 70. Good gracious of life. So you have some things you can tell us, right? But who I am becoming now that I'm no longer who I used to be. That is the one thing I had to really, really, really accept. Because after losing two children, now I had lost some people. I had lost my dad in 2000. I lost my aunt and my uncle. I've lost some people. But losing my children was that was a different heartbeat. It was just different. And so for me, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was. How can I put this? I didn't know what life was going to be after losing my daughter and my granddaughter. And then I moved on, and then it's just like one day I was just like, okay, I got it. Hey, Dawn. It's just like one day I woke up and I was just like, okay, I'm breathing. Okay, I got it. I got it. It's going to be okay. Right? So I move on, got remarried, moved out of the country, lived in Germany for 7, 8 years, something like that. Um, Life was good. I was becoming a better person. I was more than Karen, the young lady who had lost a daughter and a granddaughter. I could see past the pain, right? I was no longer holding on to my children as tight as I could because I had to accept the fact that God would take whatever He wanted when He wanted, because He is the giver of life and death, not me, right? What do I want the second half of my life to stand for? And so, kind of in that, I was just like, well, what do I want the second half of my life to look like after, this is my testimony of how I'm surviving after the loss of, my daughter and my granddaughter. I didn't want it to be my story. I didn't want those pain points to be my talking points, right? I wanted to be able to show up. That's why I love Germany, because when we went to Germany, nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew what had happened. And I was able to just really go to church, be who I was, without people looking at me with that, oh, I feel so bad. Like, I didn't like it, right? So I hadn't accepted that part of my journey. And God kept on calling. He kept on calling. And I was ignoring him. I was just like, looking at caller ID. God was just like, I need you to speak. I need you to talk. And I was not answering. That's what the caller ID was calling. I was just like, nope, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. So how many of you know that no matter what you say, when God has purpose and has a call in your life, you're going to have to do what God says. Eventually. You can do it kicking and screaming. Doesn't matter. But you're going to have to eventually do it. Okay? I'm just going to go on and give you that little thing. And if Monique is still on here, she can attest to that. But I've taken the journey because I'm over 50. So you look at it. I can't say that I don't have 50 more years, right? Because I have a grandmother who is 98. Her sister lived to be 101. My great-grandmother lived to be 102. Like, I can't say that I don't have 50 more years to live. But what I am going to say is, God, whatever it is, I want the creativity and the passion. Like, I want it to shift. That's why I said life after 40, because before that, we really don't know where we are. We kind of don't really care. We just, kind of flopping along, but after 40, you start being like, why doesn't this feel right anymore? Why doesn't this job? What's going on? It's because it's not for you anymore. So the dream, it maybe it changes. Mine did. Right? I couldn't do nothing but say, okay, that's what it was for me. But, we talk about life after 40 and life after 50 and life after 60, right? And especially for those of us who've experienced deep loss. We often focus on, well, let me speak for me. I was focusing on what was no longer here. The relationships, like my children were gone, right? The roles we played. The husband we lost, the children we've lost, the mom we've lost, the dad, like whatever your loss is, the version of ourselves that once felt whole, right? Because before my daughter, I felt whole. You couldn't tell me I wasn't good. I packed up and moved to Atlanta and was ready to experience a new life. Like I was, a little carefree. The kiddos was moving with their dad, so it was like, okay, we can kind of breathe a little bit. We won't have to worry about taking care of folks. I was only going to be having my granddaughter because I had moved to Atlanta to help my daughter because she was going back to school. So I was going to help with my granddaughter, not realizing that wasn't the path, that wasn't the plan that God had. But that version of me no longer exists, right? I've lost the dreams I had for their lives and mine. I've lost pieces of myself that, I thought I'd never be able to recover. That was the old me. The one who could bounce back quickly, right? Y'all can relate to that? If you can relate to the bounce back quickly, give me a thumbs up or something in the chat to let me know that you can relate. Like, I ain't out here by myself. And if you're on Team Replay, thank you for joining Team Replay. Thank you for still hanging out. And tell me your story. Put comments in the chat if you can relate to that bounce back. Right? Quickly. Like, I'm back. I just didn't get back quick. So, and the one thing through the grief people feels like grief has an expiration date. Like, you ain't over that yet, or you still talking about that, or I'm just like, wait, it took me time to get out of disbelief, right? It took me time to really, like, especially after my son was murdered. It took me a minute. Like, he's been gone 5 years, and I just started grieving his death last year because the trials, trying, all of that stuff was going on, and it was like I couldn't grieve. I was choking, like I was choking on his death every time I had to talk to the district attorney, every time I had to rehash the conversation. And so I had gotten to the place where I just kind of just like, hey, this is a part of it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I kind of, went undercover somewhere. I feel like I went inside myself. How does that go? I think that needs to. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I don't know why I put it in the corner like that, but it's just not working for me. Karen, just do what you have been doing, putting together 2 good hours, 2 good days, 2 good weeks until you don't feel those labor and breathing, or at least not the pressure on your chest. Now, July sweet breathe. You're absolute. That is, I can definitely attest to that. My doctor. This is what happened to where I had to do that. The doctor told me, it's like, you gotta slow down, and I know you've had all of the things, and I know you want the time to try to continue to heal, but it's been 5 years, and you need to let me help you. And I finally, this month, last month, no, February, yeah, it was my birthday month. My A1C just wasn't going down, it was going back up, and it was fluctuating. And again, so I was like, fine. So I went to the specialist that she referred, and I can say I am happy that I've done it. I'm happy that I said yes to some help, because again, when you are young and you feel like, oh, it'll be okay, right? It's like, I've been through death before. I've lost a child. It'll be all right. My heart will get back. It'll be okay. And then I had to tell myself, like, after my son, when I would be having the conversations with the district attorney and stuff, I had to tell myself, Karen, it's okay. You're not there. It's not another child. It's okay. So overwhelmed, the stress of life, man, it'll make you hurt your own daggum self. You'll be walking and trying to figure out, what in the world? Well, how did that happen, right? Life over 40 looks a little different. And then when you're what is it, perimenopause? Oh my freaking God. What in the world? God, I accepted the fact of having these children when he said that Eve would bear all the pains, but I miss in Genesis where God was talking about the menopause and the perimenopause and the hot flashes. I missed that. Did y'all read that in the Bible? Like, I got the baby and having the babies and bearing all the pains and all that. I got that. I got that. But honey, I missed that other stuff. So my doctor, she explained all of that, and she just sat me down and she said, look at your blood pressure. She's like, you're just sitting here and let's look at your blood pressure. And I was like, okay, fine. But there's a time limit. I need to have a time limit. She's like, as long as your body takes, because you're not as young as you used to be. Slap me, why don't you? That's what she did. Just like, oh my goodness. But she was right, guys. She was right. So in my journaling, I had to write out what I've lost versus what I've gained. Because on this journey, I felt like, because I've lost 2 children, I felt like I've lost a lot. And after my daughter's death, life was happening. Life was happening, and I mean, not in a bad way. Life was, William and I were dating, and we got engaged, and then there's a wedding, and then I got sad because my daughter wasn't there. My son gave me away, and then I thought about a thing. I was just like, wow, look what I've gained. Like, I've lost, but look on this side, right? So I had to really just pause, and probably, I think, I don't have my journal with me. I don't know why I didn't just bring it since I was going to be talking about this. But somewhere at the end of February, after my birthday, And after my doctor just slapped me sideways and backways and kicked me out of our office, I decided to write what I've lost versus what I've gained. Now I talk about my life after the death of my son, and his murder and all of that, because I wrote a book just probably maybe close to a year after he was killed. I had to do something with all of that energy, and my elder slash counselor was just like, well, write it down. And y'all know most of my journals turn into books, right? And that's what happened. I'm gonna let this dry. I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling it, but I'm not feeling it. If that makes sense. But let's let it sit there. I'm gonna chat a little bit, but I thought about the dreams that I had. I thought about what I wanted versus what God said He wanted me to do. So let me tell you what I've gained, right? I've gained resilience I didn't ask for, but I now honor, right? I've gained a deeper relationship with myself, right? The sacred gift of empathy. I got to learn more about that after burying another child, because now I hold space for others in pain in ways I never could before. I understand grief in a language that really, truthfully, only my heart can speak. So when I hear about another mother losing her child, my heart starts hurting. So that was when I was like, look, that's why your doctor says you need help, because every time you hear about another mother losing a child, and especially if her son was gunned down or the life was just tragically taken, that is why my heart was hurting. So therefore, I had to give myself permission to heal. Like, girl, you better go somewhere and sit down. And in doing that, I got this book, y'all. I had read this book several times, right? But it was a little different before when I read. It was a little different before. I'm going to sit it right here. Let's put it where the light ain't on it. But approval addiction, overcoming your need to please everyone, right? Let me tell you something. That was me. Right? Oh, let me make sure my do not disturb. Oh, it is on. Okay. That was me. So giving myself permission to be real, I had to start saying no. I had to start saying, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't have the space to do it. I don't have the mental capacity to want to. I just can't right now. I gave myself permission to be real. Like, I was no longer trying to impress, perform, or pretend. I love me now. I get to show up with my flaws, my wisdom, my truth. And y'all know what? That's enough for me. Right? So I challenge you today. If you have the approval addiction, grab this book. I challenge you. Get it on download. Let them read it to you. But this one, I had to read it for the third time. And it was like opening, maybe this is it. Okay. Pressing past the pain of feelings. Right? Breaking any addiction will produce suffering, but it leads to victory. Boy, I tell you. Woo. And I came back in the studio, slapping paint on paper, creating. That's why all these watercolors have been coming in, because I got my mojo back. I got my joy back. Like, I really, really, really didn't even know I had lost it. I didn't even know the overwhelm was stressing the hell out of me. Right? Because why? I was still showing up. So, and the other thing that I got is a slower, softer pace. I used to rush through life. I'm still a get to the point, bottom line kind of person. I'm still that a little bit, because I just don't have time to waste. But instead of rushing, now I walk. I love taking walks around the ranch. We've got 10.5 acres here. I love walking. I love mowing it. I just love paying attention to the leaves and how they're blooming. Like, so much so to, like, I have a to-do list after I've walked the property, and I know my husband's like, I didn't see that. It's because I'm taking time. I'm walking slower. I see the beauty in the simple things. A cup of tea, a watercolor bloom. I'm gonna find the joy in these blooms, but right now they need to dry a little bit, I think. Listen, check this out, y'all. I find joy in taking a deep breath, holding it, and then exhaling. I didn't treasure that before. It's just like, come on, let's move on. Let's get us going. Let's do what we gotta do, because we gotta do what we gotta do. But how many of you know that as a woman, we gotta slow down? We gotta slow down and give ourselves permission to heal. Give yourself permission to be real. Give yourself permission to have a deeper relationship with yourself. Here's the thing. I remember before I got in a relationship, before William and I were in our relationship, and I was out there dating. You know, I was in the street. I'm not going to call it what I call it. If you know me, you know me. You know what I said. So it's this thing, right? It's just like, some people's just like, I'm tired of being by myself. And I was like, you is? I was like, I am loving being by myself. Because for number one, because I was by myself for so long, I got to know what I want. I got to know what I like. So when William came along, he didn't have to tell me what he was going to do. I was pretty much telling him what I wanted and what I didn't want, and I'm still doing it. Right? But if you don't know what you want, then how can you tell somebody else what to do or what you want or how to love you? Right? So that they can say, well, I can do that or I can't do that. Now in the dating world, I don't want to be in the dating world. And like I tell my husband, I'll be like, we're not. He always say we're one. No, we're not one yet. We're becoming one. Because the person that you married, I'm not her anymore. That girl, that young lady was broken. She had lost a child. She hadn't even come into the fullness of what grief really looked like, because she put on a big girl panties and was walking this grief out the way that the church folks said that she should, right? And I'm just gonna tell you, grief hurts. Losing a loved one hurts. Take your time. Don't let I told you earlier, don't let nobody put an expiration on how long you grieve. If you need to grieve, as long as you breathe, grieve. Because grief is a part of life. It's not going anywhere, right? It's just part of who we are now, and it just means we have to do something like kind of different. Like now when Christmas comes around, instead of hating Christmas because Joshua and Tanika's birthday is December the 17th, I started doing, that's how I came to YouTube. I started doing live, celebrating the journey into their life so that I can stop hating it, because I still had grandkids and I still had kids, and it's just like, wait a minute, I can't just stay stuck over here. So grieve in your own time, in your own way, and continue to ask God to give you the strength that you need to be able to no longer maybe be in as much pain, but your heart is always going to hurt. I feel like God just laid me down and put me to sleep and opened up my chest and cut out two pieces of my heart, closed me back up and said, now live. And then I'm just like, but I feel like I'm missing something. And how many of you know that God is going to give you the peace that you need? He sent his son Jesus to die for our sins and to give us a comforter. Death is a part of life. We do not have to live this life alone, but we do have to ask God to give us the strength to do it. See how these blooms are coming to life? That's how I've come to life these last 2-3 weeks. And I've been taking my medicine, all the things. Whew. I told the doctor, I said, I feel like I'm going to gain weight. I'm going to become a little fat girl because I'm hungry all the time. And she's like, it'll be okay. Trust me. You're giving your body what it needs. You go on these long walks and you don't really eat. And so now you're going to see a difference. And when I went back to the doctor, she didn't lie. I lost 6 pounds. So I was like, okay, I'm going to trust you. So God sends people our way to help us get through We're not on, and that's why I'm here on this channel. Not so much to teach you about art, but if you want to know about art, that's why I say I have other platforms. We do that. I just happen to talk and slap some paint on some paper, but I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I understand. I'm a woman that's going through life just to see the smiles of those to say, hey, thank you. I needed that today. And then I can say, whew, me too. Because y'all know, I told y'all, especially when Mr. McKoy had that surgery, I was living for Mondays and Wednesdays. And now he's back at work. Mr. McKoy, are you happy back at work? How's things going? He's well, let him put in a comment, however. I ain't going to speak for him. But, oh, see, that looks so much better. See how them blooms? We're going to have to do something right there. That's too much space. But, yeah. Oh, that was too much. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Now, if you want to... Oh, that's pretty. Oh, look how that paint go down on that paper. Oh, make them petals just wake up. Oh, my goodness. I hear that. I'm so hungry. You're hungry? I ate. So I ate before I came on the live. And it's like, I'm feeling like I'm hungry again. But I haven't cooked dinner. I'm just like, And then when that happens, that means I'm not going to cook dinner because I'm going to go and get something. And the good thing is, Mr. McKoy will be coming home and he will be passing all the food places. And I can tell him to bring something home now. Because, you know, we don't have no Grubhub out here where I live. So you got to get in the car and go get it, which was another thing. But I am grateful for you're not liking it? That's because you're used to being at home. Well, you know, you can always quit. I mean, you are retired, but, you know, that'd be left up to you. As long as I can get my paint. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so in the future, we have watercolors. So we got some new watercolors coming. Not so much that... Okay, let me see if I can explain this, because I think I said it last night, because I did a live last night. I will link it to this video up there when I'm done, when this one becomes available, because y'all know you can't do nothing to this until it becomes available. That's pretty. I like that. But I feel like it needs to dry, and then I'll put another layer on it. But it's pretty for right now. Okay, right. I want you to be balanced with grace. As we get ready to part ways, I want you to be balanced with grace. Now, I said that to come over here and talk about my watercolors and all the things. I got off of the thing last night, and these were the things that I put in this pan. These are Winsor Newton, and these are the Utrecht. And I went back in, and they did me a good service. I'm not disappointed with these. I'm not disappointed at all. Okay, so I got a bushel of collard greens. Oh, you gonna come home and clean them and cook them? Well, bless your heart. Okay, so I was talking about Utrecht, and Utrecht is the version. No, it's not a version. Pause. Scratch that. Utrecht is not replacing. It is what Blick is saying. Because Blick is no longer going to be selling their version of watercolors. Blick watercolors. That's what I'm trying to say. And because they're not going to be selling Blick watercolors anymore, name brand Blick. Blick, Blick's brand. Ooh, that's a mouthful, right? So therefore, they are telling people on their website, because I had to go down the rabbit hole to really get it. So if you have Blick watercolors, Blick is no longer going to be offering them. They have these linked for you to try these new version, right? And if you're looking for some inexpensive watercolors at this time, Blick is on sale. There's nothing over $5. They're lower as $2. So, and there's only, I think, like 32 colors. And yes, I got them all. Yes, I did. Because I looked at the reviews and I looked at some videos, and some people were saying that they were comparable to the Winsor Newton. And I was like, well, I got some Winsor Newton, but I ain't got all the colors. So Winsor Newton ain't on sale. So, anyways, I went down that rabbit hole. And we're going to check them out. So, probably Thursday, if they're going to be here by then. I'm not sure. Because Blick usually gets to me pretty fast. So, we'll see. We'll see. But I will be either doing a video, or I'll probably save them for the live. That way I can do them on the live. Possibly. Okay? But balance with grace. That's what I want to leave you with. Balance with grace. I don't want anything to say. I'm going to keep saying balance with grace. And if you're on Team Replay, or if you're on the live and you have not received your free supply list from me, because my supply list is cute and all the things, and you know, it's paint, watercolor, brush, and all that. But you get a video. Click on that. Click on that link. I put it in the chat also, but you can scroll back, click on it, or look in the description box below. Click on it. Subscribe to the email list and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to the channel. If anything I said today resonated with you, share this video with someone who maybe need to check what the difference is between what they've lost and what they've gained. Because what I've gained gave me balance with grace. Right? I want you to ask yourself, what do you honor now? For me, resilience. I had to walk that thing out. God gave it to me a long time ago, and I was just like, I don't want to have resilience. I just don't, I don't want to be strong. I was fighting this thing tooth and nail. And God was just like, no, it's what I need from you. It's not what I need. But it's resilience that I didn't ask for. What I've gained, remember, a deeper relationship with myself. I'm learning how to take care of me, not out of selfishness, but from wisdom that I've gained. Okay, I got another thing I want to show. Remember, balance with grace. Put that in the chat. Balance with grace. How many of y'all know these? I know you do. I had to have them. Remember, balanced with grace. Everything, balanced with grace. Everything from this day forward, balanced with grace. Everything I talk about, everything I show, everything I paint, balanced with grace, right? Balanced. You need to be balanced. And the only way you can do that is to take care of you, not out of selfishness. And pray and ask the Lord to give you the strength to take care of you first. And I promise you, He's going to give you everything that you need for everybody else. Remember what I told you guys? We can't pour from these empty cups. Every cup I have around me got something in it. I don't even want empty cups around me anymore. So if I got to give you something, I'm going to give it out of that cup. Or if I got to give you something, I'm going to give you out of that cup. God is filling my cups up, y'all, that I have more than enough. Like Mr. McKoy sitting at work. He said he don't want to be there. He don't want to be there because he's been home for over 40-something days. But he don't have to be. But the lifestyle he wants to live, he needs to stay at work. He's getting ready to go on a cruise. Balance with grace. Check it. Isn't that beautiful? Listen, I didn't get on the bandwagon in the beginning because I didn't care. I wasn't trying to be inspired. I just wanted to slap paint on paper. I didn't care about being inspired to slap paint on paper. But now, I tried to do my own with going to not Hobby Lobby. I liked Walmart's little papers. I tried to do my own. I even made a box and put these on them. It wasn't the same. I've taken, as long as these boxes have been out, I've taken that long. And so I just like, you know what? It popped up in front of me when I was saying, I had said a prayer, and I was like, Lord, I just need some new wind. I need some new air in my lungs. I just need some new inspiration. Where? These popped up. I said, all right, Lord, I hear you. And then yesterday, my bishop, he preached a sermon, and it was talking about when God parted the Red Sea. He was talking about, he's like, you know what? The wind was there first. Pay attention to it. Not like when you read it, it says the wind. I say, and then as he was preaching, anybody that knows me, and when I'm sitting outside, if I'm talking, when the ancestors here, and they just like they need to just yes, 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 the trees get to just swaying, and I sat there and I just like, all right, God, I hear you loud and clear, and I did. So let's check it. They're just so cute. They are cute. They are really, really, really cute. I don't have nothing else to say, but they're cute. And we are going to really, really, really hone in on these things. And we are really, really, really going to have fun. Okay. They are, what is it? 500 cards. 250 here and 250 here. So every day, oh, that's that one. I was going to say I messed them up. Oh, they're backwards. Okay, who has the cubes? Who knows about the cubes? Oh, Dawn says, oh, the color cubes. Oh, Paula K said, oh, Karen, I was inspired by one of your art pieces you showed last live. Who it be all right if I cased it for a card and tag you on IG when I do? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, Paula, because you do amazing cards. Some of your cards, and Maddie's not here right today, but if Maddie here on Team Replay, Maddie did a video of her cards, and she has inspired me to pull out some prints that I have, and I'm going to make them, I'm going to do them like, Paula, you did something with one of your cards, and they're just so pretty. Like, I can see this being a card, and I probably can take it and do something with it, but y'all do something else. Y'all just in the card world. Y'all do something else with them cards. That's just it. My hat is off to you. I'm happy that I've joined the card world because I get to make cards and give them away for like people that I really want that appreciate them, because they're not cards that you throw in the trash. They're cards that you keep. Hey, Ivy Pearl, how are you? Let's pull one out. Okay, so going forward on the lives on Mondays and Wednesdays, I normally, like for May is already done out. So I've already done May, pretty much scheduled out through May. And I'll probably start working on June because I need to schedule a vacation in June. So I need to decide if I'm going to put up a recording to be scheduled, how I'm going to do that, or am I just going to take a break on Mondays and Wednesday and just not put anything up. Need to figure that out. I love the color cubes. I got the digital version. Did a card recently with the, oh, I didn't know they had the digital version. Oh, listen, Paula K, you have also got me back over there on Instagram because I had left Instagram and Facebook. I've been over here on YouTube. YouTube got posts now. I've been doing everything on YouTube. And I had somebody else, I guess when I posted something, and then they left me a message in the comment, and it's like, well, where you been? It sent me a message, and I was just like, I've been here. Like, I haven't been on here. I've been over on YouTube. So, but here we go. For the people on here that don't know what these are, this is what they look like. That's instructions. But they're inspirations for us over here who love to get inspired by color. Now, I love this one right out the gate. This one right here is not so much the picture, but because I'm getting into sketching, I will possibly sketch that, try to sketch that, right? But, and then if I want to paint it, then it gives us the colors. Now, this is what I fell in love with on the back. It gives you the color names and the, what's those other things, the hex code. So for this magenta, if you like this magenta, you get the hex code. Now, when I got my brand, whatever that thing's called, my brand thing done with my colors, they gave me hex codes, and I was just like, oh, okay. And I remember Monique when I were talking, was like, hex codes, we just picked the color. We didn't know what no hex codes was. Talking about what the digital, whatever the digital person needs this. Oh, okay. We learned a lot, okay? So now walking forward, discovering the new me. This is another thing that I've gained. Remember, balance with grace. gold, all of these things. You learn new things. Like pigment, all of this stuff is opening up to a whole new world. So whatever I was last year or whatever I was 5 years ago, I'm not her anymore. And I had to accept the fact that she's not here anymore. Right? Life after 50 with perimenopause, she ain't here no more. Right? I'll be in the house, it'd be 65 degrees. Mr. McKoy be walking around here with his daggum robe on, his clothes on, socks on. It's like, you cold? He's like, a little bit. My bad. But when the I haven't had a hot flash, a real hot flash in a minute, really. So the hot flashes kind of have subsided, but it's because I think I've done some different things. I've been drinking some sassafras tea and some hibiscus tea, some things that's kind of, I don't know. And I've been taking some vitamin this and something. So maybe I'm getting balanced with grace. That's why balanced with grace. So look at this. This made me hungry and want one of these tarts. I was thinking about making these little lemon tarts. And to get the color. Forget about the picture. I got it for the colors. So if you look at my palette, right? You look at the palette. And so for me, I would be like, okay, well, how close to that green can I get? Because the hex code doesn't do me any good with these over here. I don't think. If I put, no. I don't know. I'm going to have to try that when I get off here. I'm going to have to see what is the hex code for, I don't know. We'll see. But the yellows and, and it's going to give me some time to really, 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 I want to get into colors that I don't use. Because if y'all know me, I use red, use purple, blues, and greens, and yellow. So this is going to push me out. There's a brown in there. So it's going to push me a little bit more. What I'm personally going to do is to go outside of my comfort zone and use some of these other colors that's in my palettes. Like you can see a palette that I use and you can pretty much tell the colors that I love because they're the colors that's got a deep, deep, deep dent. Okay. Now you can also use these. Now this isn't just for the watercolor world or the art world. You can use these to be inspired to I don't know, get dressed in the morning. I don't know. I remember when William and I was dating, we'd get on the phone and I'd be like, pick a color. And he'd tell me a color and I'd go in my closet and that's a color I would wear. I don't do that no more. Probably because I don't really go nowhere anymore. And the clothes that I wear on the lawnmower don't care what I look like. So that's what both of these are. It's color cube. And the other thing I love about this is her name is Sarah Renee Clark. Well, my birth name is Karen Renee Clark. I thought that was so cute. And she spells it the same way, Renae. I just loved it. Remember I told y'all, it's the little things that make me happy. All right, guys, we're going to get off. I'm going to get off of here. And remember, don't be trying to get approval for people. Hold on. Where is the screen? Do. Hey guys. Listen, we've moved some things around. Oh, don't fall. I can't turn that around. I don't think I can. But how y'all doing? I don't think I gave Sunday's video a visual. But as always, I have to say bye. I want you to remember, balanced with grace. That's what it is. I want you to write it down. As a matter of fact, that's what I didn't do. Today is the 19th, so let's put 5/19. So these were the roses for today. And our prompt, y'all get to see me. I'm not looking for it. Last time I was looking for it and it was right there. Today is the 19th, so it is worth the water. You deserve the care you give. Remember, every prompt that I have is for our 30-day challenge, our 30-day rose challenge, and day 19 is worth the water. Now remember, if you're doing the rose challenge with me and you want this download, this PDF, just let me know. Just drop me a email or drop me a comment in the comment below, because I'm only on here on Mondays and Wednesdays. So you only get Mondays and Wednesdays. But if you're doing the rose challenge, then I can send you all of the prompts, and then that way you can put down on your rose, because that's what I do. I put the date and then I'm going to put worth the water. you deserve the, I don't put the you deserve the care you give, but I put worth the water because that's what this one is called, worth the water. There you go. And all of them that, and I realized I wasn't in my book, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right, guys. Oh, hey, Azuka. I didn't see you alive today. You got some cooking going on. Oh my goodness, I've been painting the roses without realizing there was a list. Dawn, don't worry about it. There necessarily isn't a list. I personally just have the list, and if you want it, then I can send it to you. Just email me. You got my email. Just hit me on the email, and I can send it to you. But remember, I told y'all I was putting my roses in this book. You saw I just painted that rose. I did 14 in here, so I haven't done them all in here. And it's because I decided the paper is just so, it's just so yummy. So I wanted them to look kind of different. So you can see how this one looks compared to this one. Like this one is on cotton, 100% cotton paper. And I'm almost certain this is cotton paper too. Let's see, 300, 140 pounds. Yes, 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 yes. I don't see. So maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know. What's Bocking Fort? Bocking Fort. That's what this paper is. If you know, then let me know. That's what it looks like. But yeah. So, and the prompts was just to, you know, I don't know. It made life easier for me. But sometimes if you have your own prompt that you want to put on your flower, then that's what you put on your flower. How you felt when you were drawing the flower. Remember, check in with yourself. Whatever you do, check in with yourself. So the prompts was just to make it easier for me. But if you want the prompts, you can get the prompts. Just let me know, and I can send you the PDF, and you can download and print. All right, guys. Remember when we find your email. Okay, so here's the thing. So my email is in the down below. It's in the description box. Here. How about this? Click on, where is it at? Let me give it to you. This is the link that I was talking about. And then I can send it to you this way. Click on that. And that way I can email you. You will get the download for that, but you'll also get the PDF for the 30-day Rose Challenge. And it's just day 19, and you get to go back and put your flowers on there. Yeah, especially because I changed the link. That's the thing. That's what I was talking about when I said I changed the link, I changed the things and all the things. That's what I was talking about. Sorry, see, I kind of got squirrelish and probably forgot and started talking about something else, or probably read one of y'all's comments. But thank you for bringing me full circle, July Sweet Breeze. But I want to make sure, if you want the PDF, hit that link, and I will give that same link in the comments when this live goes, when YouTube puts this live up, and I will comment on this video and pin it. And then if you want it, then you just hit that button or that little link, and then I'll send it to you. Okay? All right, guys, I'm finna go and do something with my stomach because it's hungry, and some watermelon is probably gonna get done. I will email you. My real name is Ingrid. Okay. Got you. Okay. All right, guys. Let me see. Did I miss anything? Let me scroll back. I don't want to miss anything. Okay. All right. Remember, take care of you. Balance with grace. Y'all have a great day. I'll see y'all Wednesday.